Welcome back to the Irish Bandit channel, or if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I, as always, am your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. Sun September is rolling on, and we are going into season 3, probably one of the most chaotic seasons there ever was. Abel is still missing at this point. He has been taken to Belfast, Ireland by Cameron Hayes, and the club plans a trip across the ocean to get Abel back. But along the way, there's also a kidnapping involved. There's tension within the club itself between Tig and Kozig, and it just all comes to a head in one of the most wild season finales you've ever seen. So, again, we're going to be reading from the Sons of Anarchy official collector's edition book, and we're just going to jump right into it. Coming in at number 5, my 5th favorite episode of season 3 is the episode Widening Gyre. The mines discipline the rogue member. Jax prepares for his trip to Belfast, and Trinity, the daughter of Maureen Ashby, is revealed to be the daughter of JT. Now, that little nugget of information doesn't hit Jax and Trinity until later on in Jax's visit to Belfast, or the club's visit to Belfast. But yeah, this was a great episode. We saw some internal drama, well, not internal because I mean to be with Sons of Anarchy, but we saw some drama spread out between Sons of Anarchy, the Mayans, the Calaveras Club, the Grim Bastards, just everything that happened in a previous episode coming to head with that, with Hector Salazar being stripped of his president's patch of the Calaveras because of what happened. He would take some revenge for that later on. But another, I say this often, but this was such a great episode of the series and of this season, and naturally, it's my number 5 favorite episode. So, but yeah, Widening Gyre, great episode, and this one would lead into the Sun's trip to Belfast, as coming in at number 4 is the beginning of that saga. Lochan Moor. I probably really butchered that. Sam Crow lands in Belfast. Father Ashby asks Jax to kill Jimmy O'Phelan in exchange for getting Abel back. Chibs reunites with Fiona and his daughter. That was something to find out. Well, it was something to find out in season 2 that Chibs had a wife that was still back in Ireland, and then to find out he has a daughter as well. Well, Jimmy talked about it in one of the episodes in season 2, and there's just so scummy about it. But what a great episode! Making California look like Northern Ireland was just fantastic. It was great to see the club out of their element because you had Jax, Clay, Bobby, Opie, Chibs all go over, and you had Tig staying behind after everything that happened in the previous episode that we talked about. That was another one. I should have talked about that. The daring escape for Gemma out of St. Thomas Hospital. But what a shift meeting the Belfast Charter of Sons of Anarchy with McGee and Liam and all the members there, especially what we find out later on about them. It was just about McGee and Liam, especially being under the payroll of Jimmy O'Fallon. So, but yeah, another great episode. Everything in there was just fire, and it was just a great look into what happens with overseas chapters. Coming in at number 3, okay, it's kind of weird how this is working out because these 3 episodes are like boom, boom, boom in chronological order, but I like a couple more than I did in any other episode. But the episode that comes in at number 3 actually is 2 episodes before Widening Gyre. And coming in at number 3 is The Push. To gain the trust of the Mayans, Sam Crow smokes out a rat in St. Thomas Hospital. Tig and Kozig come to blows over the vote to patch Kozig. Jack sleeps with the Kara Kara girl, and Tara leaves him. Well, that's an oversimplification if I've ever heard one, because it's not that Tara leaves Jax. Jax just says he's done, goes and hooks up with Ima, the biggest porn star, adult film star. We'll put it that way, in the Kara Kara stable. And I think Jax thinks with little Jax more than he does with his actual head most of this series, honestly and truthfully. And most of it is at the expense of poor Tara as well. But to see the relationship between Tig and Kozig as well is just something else. We see them in season 2 when Half Sack's funeral is going on. So we don't know for sure quite yet what's going on with the two of them, but we know something fierce is going on. And we find out later on in the second to last episode, which we'll get to in a second. So to see them just brawl and go at it and fight, and because Tig still doesn't trust Kozig after everything that happened previously between the two of them, won't let him patch in from Tacoma. So just a great arc with these two, and we see that even when the club go to Belfast and they stay behind in California and they beat the crap out of each other in the boxing gym. So, but yeah, a wonderful episode, wonderfully done. That kind of starts everything off, and it's like I said in there, they were trying to broker a peace with the Mayans, and I think they did that with what they had to do at St. Thomas with the rat. He was a Calaveras member who Jax just beat the crap out of at Half Sack's wake in episode 1 of this season. So, again, great episode, great acting by everyone, and just a personal favorite of mine overall, not just in this season, but a personal favorite episode of mine. Coming in at number 2 is the second last episode of the season. The crew has returned home from Belfast at this point, but have gone from the frying pan into the fire, so to speak. Coming in at number 2, June Wedding. The Russians give Jimmy O safe passage into Northern California. Salazar holds Tara and Hale hostage, and Agent Stahl turns on her lover to make good on her bargain with Jax. This was just an intense episode from beginning to end, because you had the club returning from Belfast into just this total storm with Salazar holding Tara hostage. We saw in the previous episode that Tara, in an act of self-defense, killed Salazar's girlfriend, and then Salazar was just pissed over everything that happened. So he takes Tara hostage, then takes Hale, Jacob Hale, Deputy Chief David Hale's brother, who's running for mayor of Charming at this point as well, takes them hostage in exchange for Jax, who's just returned from Belfast with his son. But there are other things we see going on around this. Like we have the kind of the ending of the arc with Kozig and Tig, finding out what happened between them to make Tig not trust Kozig. It all happened because of a dog. You have something going on with Opie and Lila at this point as well, where Opie asks Lila to marry him. Plus, you also have the hanging threat of the sons going to prison for an extended amount of time over everything that happened in season 2. So everything just comes to a head, and especially with the ending of this episode with Stahl killing her partner, lover, at the end to get Gemma off the hook pretty much for what happened in season 2. Everything that Stahl fabricated to Gemma to put her in that position as well. Just a great episode that led into a fantastic season finale. And that is my favorite episode of season 3, that being NS. Jax orchestrates a complicated plan with ATF and the Russians that provides the club with revenge on Agent Stahl and revenge on Jimmy O. The Sam Crow boys go to jail, while a pregnant Tara is left behind to discover JT's letters. So when Jax and the rest of the club were leaving Belfast, Maureen Ashby slipped some old letters that JT sent her many, many years ago with his suspicions about Gemma and Clay. So that's what Tara finds. Jax never finds these letters, but it's all Tara who finds them. And in between season 3 and season 4, they released these little mini short clips about everything that happens to the club while they're in prison, everything that happens outside the club. Tara tells Piney about these letters, which leads into stuff that happens to season 4, but we'll talk about that on Thursday. So yeah, what a wonderful episode. So well done. I love the usage of hey, hey, my at the end of this episode when all the club members, not all the club members, but most of the club members are getting carted off to jail because Stahl just flips the script, wasn't supposed to tell anyone that Jax ratted out, made a deal with the ATF, and then she just blurts it all out. Oh, Jax flipped on everybody. But Jax flipped that script when it was realized that they were in on it the whole time. The Glove was in on it the whole time at the end of the episode, and Opie gets some much needed closure for what happened to Donna when he does what he does to Agent Stahl. It was one of those things where Opie seems like just this good guy, but he was pushed to where he had to do this and take out Stahl permanently. We also see the end of Jimmy O'Phelan, and just in a fitting way with Chibs getting the fatal blow on him, and just a fantastic episode all in all. Again, this is probably one of my favorite episodes, it is my favorite episode of this season, but it's probably one of my favorite episodes of all time. But we'll talk about that later on in the month. But what did you think of season 3 of Sons of Anarchy? Let me know in the comments section down below. I'd really love to read your thoughts on this one. While you're down there, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. In the description, you're going to see all the ways you can help support this channel. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Reddit, and now Threads. You can get your Irish Bandit merchandise at my Irish Bandit shop on redbubble.com. You can pick up your copy of my novel Shade Falling on Amazon. You can get that through either Kindle e-reader or on paperback. And you can buy me a coffee, where right now I have a goal set up where I want to get some Elgato gear for my PC. You can help make that happen in the link down below. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you're already subscribed, tap the bell and you'll be notified whenever a brand new video goes live. I'll be back tomorrow with more BioShock. We've got all the components needed to become a Big Daddy. We've got a little one helping us now, so we're going to see how much further we can get. I think I'm going to make it a double-sized episode after everything that happened last week with the game crashing twice on me during filming of that. So it'll probably be a double-sized episode on tomorrow. I'm filming this beforehand, so we'll see what happens. Thursday, I'll be back with my top 5 favorite episodes of season 4 of Sons of Anarchy, another great season of the show. You won't hear me saying anything bad about any of the seasons, but that one especially. And then on Friday, we are back with Friday Fantasy and more Final Fantasy VII Remake. We are wrapping up things in Final Fantasy VII. We're getting the last few side quests done in the slums of Midgar, and we'll be making our way to Shinra HQ to save Aerith before too long. And then we're right back at it Monday with part 2 of Tell Me Why, and then everything going forward after that. So until tomorrow and more BioShock, have a great week.